So I am baffled, absolutely baffled, by this administration's talk around trade deficits and tariffs. I fear the administration lacks a basic understanding of what a trade deficit is. I think many economists take issue with equating a country's trade deficit with any one country and its economic well-being.
We are in the midst of negotiations with dozens and dozens of countries. We could sign deals, but they're only going to get better as we negotiate them.
That's just simply not true. Because as I told you, the American...
Actually, I promise you it's true because I'm doing it. So I promise you it is true, and I'm here testifying in front of you, and I promise you it's true.
And
but as countries do deals with us, that will go to zero. As countries do deals with us, that will go to zero.
But the cost is on the American consumer now and on the businesses with the confusion now.
There's no uncertainty. If you build in America and you produce your product in America, there will be no tariff.
We can't
produce
bananas in America.
So the concept of building in America and paying no tariff is very, very clear.
We cannot build bananas in America. And thank you to you, Secretary Lutnick. Thanks for being here today. I want to pick up on what Mr. Morelli was talking about, and I'll use the word stability. And I think you know this from your many years in business. And that's what I thought about as I was preparing for today. The importance of stability, or as he said, predictability. Stability is the foundation of economic growth. I think you've lived it. Businesses need clear and predictable rules to plan and to invest for the future. Given this administration's claim of being pro-business and pro-growth, I am so baffled by the discussions around trade deficits and the president's belief around trade deficits and the president's beliefs around tariffs and the chaotic tariff policy. They're on, they're off. Many of the tariffs are punishing, creating a level of instability and uncertainty in our economy that we haven't seen since COVID. I hear the same thing over and over from constituents, from small businesses, from bankers in my area. They can't figure out how to plan, how to lend. Businesses can't figure out how to expand, how to grow, whether to hire, whether to not hire. And I'd heard just literally this morning from a very large American retailer. First word out of the woman's mouth was uncertainty, and the last thing she said to me was uncertainty, all surrounding tariffs. The lack of predictability. I also serve on the Foreign Affairs Committee, was recently in UK and Denmark, met with the American Chamber in both countries. Confused, uncertain, they can't figure it out. What in God's name is going on? We cannot plan to grow businesses. We cannot plan to grow growth and jobs. So I am baffled, absolutely baffled, by this administration's talk around trade deficits and tariffs. I fear the administration lacks a basic understanding of what a trade deficit is. I think many economists take issue with equating a country's trade deficit with any one country and its economic well-being. Some economists actually view a trade deficit as a sign of a country's economic health because it means we're purchasing more. For me, I have a pretty large trade deficit with my local grocer or my hairdresser. It's a good thing. It means I have money enough to get my hair done once in a while and to keep food on the table. It tells nothing about my overall financial position. Do you know when this country actually had a trade surplus, Secretary?
The president likes to speak about before.
No, historically. When did we have a trade surplus? I'm not talking about the president. Historically.
I think early, about 100 years ago.
It was the Great Depression. It was a sign of what was going on. It was during the Great Depression. That's a direction none of us wants to go. Tariffs. It's 90 days. We're going to have 90 deals in 90 days. Then there's a 90-day pause. Many of these tariffs, as they say, punishing. Tariffs on things that make no sense whatsoever. Where are we going to go with the remaining deals? I know of one deal that has been apparently resolved with the United Kingdom, We got 89 more deals to do in just a few more days. Where are we on those deals?
We are in the midst of negotiations with dozens and dozens of countries. We could sign deals, but they're only going to get better as we negotiate them.
That's just simply not
Trade-
true, because as I told you, the
Actually, I
American...
promise you it's true because I'm doing it. So I
Thank you.
promise you it is true, and I'm here
Thank you.
testifying in front of you, and I promise you it's true.
And Mr. Trump promised to bring down the cost of goods day one. And what he has done through his trade deficit fixation and his tariff chaos has nakedly increased the cost of goods. The estimates are that for consumers in my area, suburban Philadelphia, $2,000 at least a year increases on goods. I'll give you an example of one. Bananas. What's the tariff on bananas? Americans, by the way, love bananas. We buy billions of them a year. I love bananas. What's the tariff on bananas?
The tariff on bananas would be representative of the countries that produce them.
And what's that tariff?
Generally 10%.
Correct, 10%. Walmart has already increased the cost of bananas by 8%.
But as countries do deals with us, that will go to zero. As countries do deals with
But the
us, that will
cost
go
is
to
on the
zero.
American consumer now and on the businesses with the confusion now. Mr. Secretary, I believe you know better. I believe you recognize that a trade deficit is not something to fear. I believe you know that predictability, stability is essential for businesses. I wish you would show that truth to this administration, and I yield back.
Time of the gentlelady is
Would
expired.
you mind, Mr. Chairman, if I make one quick comment to the end? Would that be okay?
I'm sorry,
Would you mind if I make one quick comment to the representative?
please.
There's no uncertainty if you build in America and you produce your product in America, there will be no tariff.
We can't
So the
produce
concept
bananas in
of
America.
building in America and paying no tariff
We
is
cannot-
very, very clear.
We cannot
Fighting for
build
imports is
bananas in
not the same.
America.
Thanks very much, Mr. Chairman. My apologies. There are a lot of appropriations markups and hearings today, so I apologize for being late. And with that, I would like to ask unanimous consent to put my opening remarks in the record, if I can. Thank you. And good morning to you all. It's good afternoon now, Mr. Secretary. Let me just follow up on something that my colleague, Mr. Mervan, was asking about, and that was the International Trade Administration, which helps to increase our exports of American products and services, protects American producers against trade cheating by China and others. I think it's important to note to my colleague, Mr. Mervan, that there has been almost a 30% cut to the ITA, $183 million. That's for below what was proposed for 2025. So it was going to cost American jobs, decimates ITA's U.S. commercial service, operates out of U.S. export assistance centers and U.S. embassies abroad, works to maintain and increase the exports of U.S. products and services. So the agency, which is meant to protect, if you will, our exporters, et cetera, and is now being decimated. I think one has to look at what has been cut. There's the MEP program that I believe has been eliminated. One needs to go carefully through each of these areas and get a sense of, in fact, what is being cut back. And, you know, facts are funny. You got to deal with the details and with the facts. You just can't speak about it and make general statements. And when you cut back on agencies and the way that you have and slash and burn, if you will, then we're not going to get to where we want to go. I want to focus a second on two quick areas. One is transparency in government, because it's critical. Americans need to see where their tax dollars are going. And since 2022, we've had in place, I say that and maybe self-serving, I worked hard on this issue, and we got bipartisan, bicameral agreement to make sure that the executive branch, and I made sure that was in with a Democratic administration, they are legally required to publicly post budget documents. That is how and when, how and where taxpayers' dollars are being spent. They're called apportionments. Put that aside. It's about saying how the money is going to be spent, and that is online. Now, this information is legally required. It's binding on a federal agency. The Office of Management Budget uses the information to tell agencies how and when they can spend the funds that Congress has appropriated. Beginning in March, OMB stopped posting these documents. This is illegal, and it's a slap in the face to the principle of transparency, accountability in government spending, which this administration claims to champion. Mr. Secretary, I'm going to ask for your commitment to once again making the amount-specific budget documents, apportionments, how and where U.S. tax dollars are being spent by the Department of Commerce and its bureaus publicly accessible. Will you commit to doing that?
It's my understanding that my department is following the CR with precision as is required.
No, you are inaccurate, because I'll get to spend plans. We do not have details on the spend plans, which the CR requires, and it hasn't happened. We have a lack of specificity on this is it's more than 5 weeks after the legal due date. We do not have a detailed spend plan as required by the law. Let me go back. Will you commit to getting online how and where the American taxpayers' dollars with regard to the Department of Commerce are being spent, as is required by the law?
I will, of course, follow the law, but it is my understanding, as I've been advised, that we have filed precisely according to the CR's requirement.
I do not know who you got your advice from, but this is the Appropriations Committee. We're looking at every spend plan, and let me just tell you, the bare bones spend plan was 3 weeks late. Surely, in that time, you must have had time to put together a more detailed spend plan. This is false. The law sets out the timeline and the level of detail. This is what is happening is illegal and in contravention of what this committee does and it puts together. And if you can't make a commitment, I take that as no, you will not commit, so that the public has no idea of what any agency in this administration as how they're spending the taxpayers' dollars and where those dollars are going. I yield back and wait for a second round. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, for your indulgence.